Hi, I'm Joy Kuebler, a landscape architect in Buffalo, New York. And we're talking about the value of diverse voices in design and park planning. For decades, we've struggled with the traditional process that often favored a small number of outspoken voices. And in the past 2 years, our company, Joy Kuebler Landscape Architect, has been working to change that process of engagement in design to help create places that speak to the needs and values of communities by trying to empower and create activities to connect communities to places. Today we're going to show some examples of our place techniques. We'll show you some examples of community conversations, facilitated site tours, trying design on for size, and also how team building techniques are integrated into all of it. So our technique is called place, and it's spelled P-L-A-Y-C-E. So play is an important part of what we're doing, and we might ask the question, why play? We've all experienced traditional public meetings where there's very few attendance, if we have people attend at all, or we have a community that's kind of at the ready to defend an idea that they have that might be contrary to the design team. We found that this is not really an effective process over the years. But we have been looking at the world of organizational development, which are team builders and strategy organizers. And their work is being very successful. And why did that happen? Why is one successful and one less successful? And for us, we really found that the root of all of that is play. So play is a universally accepted and accessible process. There's not a person on the planet that does not know how to play, regardless of your culture, your language, your cognitive ability, or your physical ability. Play is indeed a great equalizer. And all of this play and exercise is really rooted in the work of Dr. Stuart Brown, who's been studying the scientific value of play for a really long time. So our work at Joy Kuebler Landscape Architect looked to take the world of organizational development and play and blend it with the planning process so that we could create an opportunity for immediate collaborative problem solving where we're building trust and empathy between the project team, the community, and the project leaders. And we're all in a space to really willing and be open to exploration of ideas and voices from values of the community, opportunities that a site might have in a way that without play might be much more challenging to get to. So the first component to place is a community conversation. And for us, this is a really important part that can often take the place of a traditional public meeting. But it's really taking advantage of going to where the public is rather than asking them to come to us. So including an opportunity to participate in a local festival, maybe at a senior citizen home, could be a Little League baseball tournament or a local concert. But the key is to really capture voices where they are. And so the conversation is intended to be a 2 to 3 minute conversation with a large audience, a wide demographic of people. And sometimes that conversation can be really simple about what makes a downtown vibrant, or it could be more specific to what might be necessary for a park for a family to feel confident in letting their kids visit the park on their own. The next component of place is a facilitated site tour. And for us, this is a really important part of the process. Usually community engagement is happening after design ideas have been generated, and we're asking the community to comment on those. And the facilitated site tour is really asking the community to come out and walk the site with us, long before we get to design ideas. We're all getting to see the project at the same time, in real time, where we can generate ideas and conversations around not only the site's opportunities, but also its constraints. So on that tour, we might have members of the public, as well as someone from the municipal leadership, from the Department of Public Works. It could be an organization around empowering youth in the neighborhood. It could be an organization that's rooted in the spiritual development of a neighborhood. Whatever voices or important community values that this particular neighborhood has, we would invite all of those participants to join us on the site and actually see everything in real time. We're able to have a really great conversation where the community is finding their aha moment around what's possible for them and what things they might need to mitigate in order to find success. Oftentimes it's hard for community members to visualize a planned drawing, or even from renderings, it's hard to really capture the way a space will feel when it's out in real life. And so the idea of trying a design on for size became really compelling for us. Could we create an opportunity for the neighborhood to see or feel how the design might work in real time, and then activate it with a festival or a party that really brought the design to life? Sometimes this technique is called tactical urbanism, and it's an idea of using low-cost, easy materials, paint, chalk, to create the way the design is going to operate. And then activating it with a party or a festival that gives the users an idea of how this space might really function in real life. The idea is to get to an opportunity for people to become champions of the design, for them to see how it's going to impact their quality of life, and for them to also have an opportunity to adjust the design long before we have millions of dollars spent on a final product. It empowers the community in a very unique way. Team building activities and games are vital to the process and are integrated throughout each element. The games kickstart the creative process. But most importantly, we're building trust and empathy. And why is empathy important to a project? Empathy is really important to getting us to consensus, even if that consensus is not unanimous. When we have empathy between participants, we have members understanding that what's important to them and what's important to other people have a shared responsibility in a project. They're willing to come to consensus even if the decision is not unanimous. And they're willing to champion that decision throughout the project because of that empathy. The team building games also ask people to think and speak differently than the way that they normally do. To go deeper, to help us understand their real values and needs in ways that traditional, normal, everyday language doesn't allow us to get to. We are also collecting real data that supports our design, data that can be counted, categorized, and help support a design decision. But really, it's about having fun. So when we have fun, we're building champions, and we're building enthusiasm for a project.